Speedrunning in any video game is merely completing a particular objective as quickly as possible. This usually involves using the best techniques available in the game to get from point A to point B, or defeating a particular enemy, whether it be straight-laced or with glitches. Most every game has a community revolved around speedrunning, and Mahnster Hunter is no exception. Though, Mahnster Hunter has a couple differences in the way it is performed. However, I'm not here today to talk about how to speedrun or guides on doing so. Instead, I'm here to cover some topics that aren't talked about as much when it does come to speedrunning. First and foremost, yes, you can speedrun the entire story of Mahnster Hunter as seen during this year's Games Done Quick, or people finishing the final boss in other games, but there are two other categories for Mahnster Hunter runs. Speedrunning, which involves hunting a monster as fast as you can with no restrictions. The alternative is time attack, or TA, where you hunt the monster as fast as you can under a set of limitations that involve no buddies, certain items or skills, endemic life, etc. I being one of said TA runners. Alright, well, hang on a second. Where are my manners? For those of you who don't know, hello, stray viewer, my name is Mahnster Hunter, and for base Mahnster Hunter Rise, I submitted time attack runs. I have a couple of playlists on my channel right now, but those are my credentials. Enough plugging in my own video. It doesn't matter which category you run, you are likely to encounter some problems. Problems that I don't think people really talk about very much, so I guess I will. Here's 5 things you should know about speedrunning in Mahnster Hunter. Let me visualize something for you. You choose a monster you want to run, you put together a set, you gather your items, eat, and then go into the hunt. Right off the bat, you notice your target is not in the most optimal spawn, so you reset, and reset, and reset until, voila, the best possible spawn. You're traveling to the monster, and you make a critical movement error, so you must reset again. And again, and again, until you get that good spawn once more. You nail the movement tech, you get to the monster, you start applying your buffs, and a small monster just took away your engagement. Reset, again and again, until you get the good spawn, you get your buffs together, you start the fight on your terms, and sometime in the fight you make an error. Reset. Everything goes well this time, and as the time comes up, you're surprised. It's your personal best time. You go to check your time against others, and it's nowhere close. So you do that all again until you get it right. Now, if that was exhausting for you to listen to, imagine doing it. If you're strong, crazy, or crazy strong, then you can operate off of sheer force of will. If you're normal, then you may end up feeling exhausted, annoyed, tired, doubtful, and all those negative things. That's called burnout. By psychology standards, burnout is defined as a state of emotional, mental, and often physical exhaustion brought on by prolonged or repeated stress. Depression. Neat. Kidding, but this was something that I struggled with a lot while doing my TAs. 3 extreme sources of my burnout were Nargacuga, Somnicanth, and Gosarag. The reasons being the aforementioned scenarios that really did a number on my mental fortitude because I fought despite my feelings of burnout. I'm not going to advise you to follow my mentality. You need to do what's best for you, whether that be pushing ahead or taking a break and coming back to it later. Or maybe you're the type to give up or get irritated easily and you want to push past your limits, plus ultra and all that. If you think that'll help you, go for it, but be mindful of your own breaking point. As if Mahnster Hunter wasn't a game revolved around the art of farming, speedrunning requires it even more so than usual. Sure, you're going to need items like demon drugs, max potions, and traps, or even monster parts to create armor and weapons. That's a given. However, there are other things you have to farm for as well. If you already know, then you're already cringing or rolling your eyes. If you don't, then it's time to get familiar. You're going to need Zenny, Kamara points, and Dango tickets. Both the points and Zenny require a randomized cycle for the upsurges on the maps and a lot of free time. You're going to have to circle the map multiple times, acquire your ores or points, and then use those to purchase your weapons and armor or raw meat to use in the motley mix. Trust me, it is spiritually draining and time consuming, but definitely necessary. You require these points in order to purchase the meat so that you can use it in the motley mix in order to create more Dango tickets so that you can get a guarantee or at least a chance to guarantee your food skills, which can severely impact a hunt. There's a reason it's called the most effective tactic available, because it's proven to be the most effective. Redundant, I know, but I'll go over some examples for you from previous games. In GU, there was the Josiana set, which offered Critical Eye, Razor Sharp, Handicraft, and enough decoration slots to fill in Tenderizer and Critical Boost. For Iceborne, you had Sophy sets, which sacrificed your health per attack to increase your raw, affinity, and elemental stats, paired with a Gulf Rock weapon with a high element, and at least Agitator level 5 because of the monster and rage timers being increased. Of course, Rise has one of its own as well, in the form of sets requiring you to have at least attack level 4, critical eye, tenderizer, critical boost, and if you could slip in handicraft or protective polish to maintain white, then you could do so. Mind you, this is pre-Sunbreak, not Sunbreak. This is Rise, just Rise. Though I will give you a piece of advice. Plenty of games have a pre-established meta or tier list or what have you, and somehow, some way, someone comes in and decides to do whatever they feel is most comfortable for them, and end up rearranging tier lists that they were previously held as gospel. Other games might be live service or get updates that add in new content that completely flips the meta with each one. The meta is inevitable, but that does not mean that you have to conform to it. When making a new set in Monster Hunter, there are two very important factors that you need to have laid out before you even think about touching armor, and that's your weapon and your talisman. Weapons are universal to everyone, but talismans are randomized to high hell. A good talisman will often open up new avenues for your armor pieces. I remember when Team Darkside came out with their best longsword sets video, and I saw that they had a quick sheath level 3 talisman with a 320 deco slot. Like, who would be so damn blessed by RNGesus that they can pull this off and not only have the time required to farm these, because they got an early copy, because that opened the door to access a lot of different pieces for them. I myself got a Rapid Morph level 3 talisman with the 3-2 deco slot, and that was about 200 hours into charm farming, and it frees me of having to waste a helmet slot for Amudron. Obviously, it might be the same or different for you, which will require you to shake things up. One of these three things is bound to happen. You'll end up following the meta, you'll fit around the mold of the meta but not follow the path of it, or you will create a new one. These are all but possibilities, not guarantees. Playing any game casually is far different from playing it at a high level or professionally. In Monster Hunter, some players may know their weapon, but struggle with the monster and game features, and vice versa for all sides of this triangle. Take this example of me using the Greatsword. I know the game's mechanics, I know how to hunt Rathian, but I don't exactly know how to use the Greatsword. Sure, this play is sick, smoking my ass again, but I'm pretty sure a high-level Greatsword player will be looking like, okay, you trying to make a trailer shot, fam? Trying to get into Monster Hunter 6 beta with them scripted plays, my boy? Cringe aside, you're going to have to learn a lot of aspects in order to efficiently hunt a monster. What map are you on, and what area are you in? What's the percentage chance for the monster to spawn in the best area? How does my weapon fare against X monster? What's some aspects of the monster I need to look out for? Motion values, weak spots, exploitable moments, flinch values, etc. Maybe this is something somebody else has talked about loosely, but there's a lot of factors that go into a single hunt that you may not be paying attention to, and if you just like jumping in and playing, then you shouldn't have to care. But if you're really trying to make these times go down, you're going to have to understand weak spots, you're going to have to understand part breaks, and especially staggers. Controlling staggers means controlling the monster. Do not compare yourself to other people. This is a double-sided statement, positive and negative. Don't look at other people's talismans and sets and look down on yourself. Talismans are RNG heavy, so you may get lucky, you may not. They may be on PC and decided to alter the talisman. Maybe you're on PC and you want to be straight-laced. But don't feel bad because someone else got a better time or plays better than you because they had a better set or they understand the game more. Learn all that you can from their experiences and apply that to yourself. What did you see that you aren't doing or could learn to do? Things like that. Learn to relish the fact that you can consistently get your times down more than just trying to set the record, and it will eventually come to you naturally. On the negative end of this statement, just because you are a speedrunner or you enjoy watching speedruns or abusing the meta sets doesn't mean others have to as well. People play games differently and developers try to appeal to both sides. If you like using offensive heavy sets and someone else prefers to use a comfort set, then there shouldn't be any problem. Both sides have their faults. Someone might not know how to play using an offensive set and make card a couple times. Someone using a comfort set may be using it because they themselves understand that they don't know how to dodge or not get hit, so they sacrifice their damage output for their sustainability. People have plenty of different reasons as to why they do what they do, but unless they're 100% intentionally giving you grief, then you can let the filter go. But some people just need guidance or just want to take the game at their own pace, so please be respectful to others who don't walk the same path as you. That's it for today. If there's anything you'd like to add to the mix, go ahead and leave it in the comments, and I will be back again tomorrow with a different video subject, hopefully one that's a lot more, positive than this one.